All right. Well, so excited to have you both on. Such a pleasure. I know we're in quarantine and you two are together, not even 6 feet apart, but I think you have such a close relationship. So it's all good. This is such an honor, Kayleigh and Danielle, to have you on. Long time in the making. So no better time than now to get chatting and see how we could serve the audience. And yeah, just so happy to have you two.
Thank you so much for having us on. It's so good to finally be on your show, because we remember very clearly how cool you were when we met you at the Pays to Be Brave, and we're like, she's awesome, we got a collab. And then it's in a few months, and now it's yeah, we're right back in that feeling. Yeah. So
thank you so much. Yeah, as you mentioned, I met you two personally at Pays to Be Brave at Angie Lee's event, and funny enough, well, take you back before that, I actually heard of your brand through Angie Lee, because the know, like, and trust factor, definitely I have that with her. And she was sharing one day your product, Clear Stem, or sorry, Clear Stem skincare. And I remember hearing her share that, and I was like, oh, she was saying how it helps her acne and her scars. I'm like, okay, I'm searching for a great new product. So I stumbled upon that with her, and I bought it on Amazon. And ever since then, actually, let me just tell you, before that, I've been struggling with acne for a long time, but adult acne, I've gotten a hold of it recently, but I was still getting those occasional breakouts, and I'm like, I don't know what the cause is. And I started using your product, and I immediately noticed a difference. So I jumped on board with your brand, and I didn't know at the time that you expanded it. So luckily at Pays to Be Brave, I saw that you had all these great things. You had the wash, the exfoliator, and the clarity. So anyways, so that's how I found your brand, and I'm obviously fully committed to your brand. And so I'm stoked that I finally found something that works, that I could stand behind. So let's talk about this. So first of all, how did you two meet, and how did you start this skincare brand? Where did it come from?
Yeah, so Danielle and I met. It's actually funny. I was one of her patients, which is really fun. So Danielle owns San Diego Acne Clinic, and in my mid-20s, a couple years ago, I was dealing with bright red inflamed cystic acne all over my face. It came about actually in a couple months period of time. I had struggled with acne a little bit growing up, a little bit through college, but just went the traditional routes as far as going to a dermatologist, getting a heavy cream and drying out my skin like crazy. And it seemed to kind of just put a Band-Aid on it, but it would ultimately come back. But when it came full force in my mid-20s, I had recently got off birth control. I was traveling a lot for work, and all of a sudden it just erupted everywhere. It was so angry on my face, honestly. It was the hardest time confidence-wise for me. I didn't want to leave my house. I didn't want to see friends. I was working as a holistic nutritionist and working a corporate job, and I was afraid to see people in person, and I felt like a fraud at my own job too. I was like, how can anyone believe that I'm healthy and take care of my body when I have all the cystic acne? And so it hit my confidence. I would pack on theater makeup when I would leave the house. And I had gone to every doctor, dermatologist, specialist. No one could figure out what was going on with my skin. It was just the answers I got were, here, go on birth control. Here, go on antibiotics. Here's a heavy cream. Oh, actually, you need to go on Accutane. This is going to be the only way that helps your skin. And I knew there was something going on. I knew that some type of antibiotic or pill or topical cream wasn't going to fix it. I felt in my body, I'm like, there is something going on, and I feel like no one believes me. And that's when I found Danielle. I was owner of San Diego Acne Clinic, and I go in, and on our first visit, she has me talk about supplements. She has me talk about what I'm eating, she had me bring in every makeup, skincare product, hair care product they use. And we went through everything, and she educated me about acne triggers and pore cloggers and things in your diet that can cause breakouts, and just all these different things that had never been brought to my attention. And I felt like no one had listened to me and dug deep into my lifestyle as to what could be causing this. It was just, oh, here's a prescription. This is how you fix it.
Yeah.
So Danielle and we cured my skin in 2 months. So after doing all the changes that Danielle had me implement, and using a proper skincare routine for my bio-individual skin and what was going on. I was clear in 2 months. And at the time, Danielle was starting to create this epic product, which is now our Cell Renew Serum, because she was getting so many people clear. She's done over 6,000 facials, the 98% clear success rate, and she wanted to help people with scarring after her facials and after they got clear. And so she started to develop Cell Renew, and we just, over time, laying on the bed, getting the facials done, we developed such a strong relationship and love for positively impacting other people's lives and helping them get control of their health in different ways. Danielle had done it through skin and I had done it through nutrition. And so we decided to finish developing this product. And when the product got so much success, we decided to build out additional products and build out a brand around it. So we wanted to create a brand that educated and empowered women to understand what was going on with their skin, that there is a root cause to something going on, and how to truly tackle acne. Because after we'd done so much research, we realized no one was talking about this. No one understood all these different root causes of acne. And so we not only built out all of our products, but all of our education on our website, and now our Ditch Your Acne course, so women can figure out what is going on with their skin, get to their root cause, and to get clear for good.
I love it all. So I'm super, super passionate about this because if there's one thing I could definitely relate to is the struggle with acne. I started having my sister first had it, and I had clear skin while she was going through her breakout stage. And I remember I'm like, kind of like laughing at her that she had this acne at the time, younger, right? And then I had my
sister can get away with that.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then I had my massive breakout. I think it started when I was 16. So I actually, at first I started like the lower prescriptions, and then I was put on Accutane, and I did Accutane twice. So I know how much I struggled with it, and I did lasers. I did everything to combat it, and buying products. I was sold on anything that said it was going to help with acne. And I completely relate to the struggle. And I also I know how much it impacted my confidence 110% at the time when I was younger. And then for myself, it led into my adult life too. And honestly, it's kind of crazy. I probably only feel I've got it so much in control when I started using your product. How insane is that? So
we hear that. We hear that a lot, actually. We hear that quite a bit.
So let's go into this. Well, first of all, I know that when I would go to my facialist, she would pretty much decipher where the cause is coming from. And she told me that the chin line is all hormonal, the forehead is food, the hairline obviously is the oils. So is that actually true, or?
No.
Okay. So I'm curious. So,
yeah.
So when you were mentioning, Kayleigh, when you were saying that you discovered when you brought all these products and your supplements and everything to Danielle, what was discovered mostly your cause for your breakouts?
I'll let Danielle answer. We have about 11 different
I pulled Kayleigh's chart from a long time ago, and there was a total of 11 sugars. So I actually have a really detailed intake form that's been fine-tuned over the years. So we go over, let me think of what's on it. Allergies, whether they have any protein products, and what is the protein, like whey or soy, what vitamins are they taking, if they're on birth control, if they're on any other prescriptions, how often they're exfoliating, and then what they're eating and when, and then all the products that they're using. So we go through all of those categories, and in each one, for example, Kayleigh was on a couple of vitamins that had way too much B12. It was like 4,000% or something, for example. I can't quite remember, but it was something really, really high. And those actually some certain supplements cause hormonal acne, and people don't know that. So, and it's stuff that you would think would be healthy, like say a vitamin D supplement or a zinc supplement that have benefits, but in too high of a dose, they have a hormonal side effect and create hormonal acne. So those were a couple triggers. Then a lot of it was actually in her products. And they were high-end products like Sunday Riley, Pureology conditioner, like high-end salon brand, not cheap products. and they just happen to have pore cloggers in them, you know, even though like they were natural and organic, which Kayleigh, you know, the same way everyone does who's health conscious, they eat organic, healthy food. They also want organic, you know, healthy skincare products. But there's a huge misconception that organic means acne safe. The two have nothing to do with each other at all. So with Kayleigh, I think it was like 4 products. She wasn't exfoliating enough because her skin was so tender. She didn't know what to exfoliate or how, which was totally understandable. And then she had celiac. So I think you were right in the cusp of finding that out.
Yeah, so I was working with a naturopath during this time too, to figure out, like, I was like, I know I'm having reactions to something that's going on. And so we did figure out that I was celiac and had leaky gut on top of everything too.
So to answer, you kind of mentioned like face patterns and whatnot. I generally disagree with mostly all the face charts that are out there because they completely miss the boat on products. You can't, like, there's patterns that emerge for sure. The most prominent one would be lymphatic disruption, meaning that a protein isn't being digested very well. So that can be gluten, it can be eggs, it can be someone who's just eating way too much protein in one sitting or eating way too much protein at night. And it'll clog up very specific areas, like from the bottom of the nostrils down, almost like parentheses around the mouth, and or by the ears, like the temples and down by the ears. The jawline is generally hormonal because that's where you would have, the jawline around the mouth is generally hormonal because that's where you have more hair follicles. But the jawline can also be lymphatic as well. So there's a lot of overemphasis on hormonal acne, and a lot of the time there's a lymphatic or liver disruption that's mimicking it. And people automatically assume that their acne is hormonal because and it's natural to think that because it ebbs and flows with your cycle.
Right.
And if you get on birth control, it can affect it positively or negatively. Like hormones absolutely play a role, but there's a lot more going on.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, let's tackle this. So let's start with because I know the pore cloggers is one emphasis you give on your brand. What are some of the pore cloggers that we should look out for?
So some of the biggest pore cloggers that people run into almost constantly, especially from makeup, there's one called ethyl hexyl palmitates, and it's in a lot of beauty products. And I just wrote a blog about it. I don't want to say brands by name, but it's ones that you would find at the Nordstrom counter. It's the ones that makeup artists use. For example, some makeup brands will have this particular filler in a lot of their stuff, and then some of their items won't have it. I'll just use Tarte as an example. I love some Tarte. Well, not all Tarte products have this in it, but a lot of them do. Like the bronzer, for example, has ethyl hexyl palmitate. So sometimes people will just get acne in a certain pattern, but it's where their bronzer is going. It has nothing to do with an internal pattern. So that's part of the reason I disagree with face mapping. It misses the boat on product. But and then other pore cloggers that people will often find, besides ethyl hexyl palmitate, they will find something called isopropyl myristate. They'll find that in like store lotions, like a Vino, and like just other common lotions like that, like Vaseline, things like that. So those are like your drugstore brand lotions. It'll also be lurking in the hair conditioner. And then another really common pore clogger, there's 2 that are extremely common that are in the clean beauty space, which is really tricky for people. So you'll be paying a premium dollar for a clean beauty product, but it'll have an algae base or a coconut oil base. And those are extremely pore clogging, even though they're clean.
That's something that's something that we really love to talk about because we're in the clean beauty space. We don't have any hormone disruptors or any toxins in our products. And many people who are cleaning up their entire lifestyle, you know, they're eating cleaner, maybe they're switching to more of a paleo diet, they're getting more sleep, they're staying more hydrated. And so after they do all of that, many people want to switch to clean beauty products. And they'll notice that they'll start breaking out, and they've been told that this is a detox period because you're no longer using toxic products, you're using clean beauty, so now your skin is detoxing. Like, that's what marketing told us, but really you're now being exposed to all of these heavy pore cloggers. And even though they're clean and can be great to eat internally, it's a different absorption system on your skin. So coconut oil, amazing to eat internally, healthy fats, all the good stuff. But when you put it on your skin, it clogs your pores. And the same with algae and seaweed. great to eat, not good to put on your skin. Avocado oil is another one. Shea butter is another one as well.
Olive oil is another
oil.
classic one.
Yeah, so these are incredible ingredients
for food.
But it's a different absorption system on your skin.
Yeah, when you eat something, it goes into a hot vat of acid, aka your stomach.
True.
And that's when it gets broken down into usable particles, when it goes through your digestive system for selective absorption through your body and gets carried to where it's supposed to go. On your skin, it just sits there and clogs your pores. And you can tell if you're wondering like, oh, is my product breaking me out? If you pull out little golden balls of wax from your skin, like you have a blackhead, you get it out and it looks like a little hard golden ball of wax, that's from a product. That's from something topical.
So when you pop your pimple, look at it.
Pretty much. I mean, literally when I'm doing extractions, after we do the intake, and I'm like, okay, these are all the things we're using that have pore cloggers in it, and I know what it should look like in the pore. When I do extractions, we literally look at the napkin and we're like, yep, that's the shea butter. This is the coconut oil. Like this one was mainly just skin protein because you need more exfoliation. Like you can absolutely tell by the extraction. Now, obviously, I don't recommend picking. Don't recommend that. But
encouraging.
But everyone does it. Yeah. It's gonna happen. Yeah. If you pull out little orange balls of wax, that's a pore clogger, one of your topical ingredients.
That's so good to know about. So I'm one of those people that completely I'm passionate about cleaning up my toxicity in my life. And one of those was the clean organic products. And there's some brands I love. And I know that one of the brands that I'm completely supportive of, when she was mixing her formulation, she started originally with coconut oil, but she didn't like the consistency. So that is not the base of her product. But I'm curious, when it comes to organic products, I am big on essential oils. Is there anything that you recommend to avoid when it comes to things that are essential oil based?
So essential oils are going to be less problematic for acne. So essential oils, for anyone who's like, wait, what is an essential oil? So it's something that's usually added for fragrance or medicinal property. So tea tree oil is the most common one. So that can be used for fragrance. It can be it's antiseptic, which is why it's commonly used in acne. That'll be like your natural version of a benzoyl peroxide, for example. It's antibacterial, antimicrobial. So another essential oil could be something like frankincense or lavender oil, and those are generally going to be used in products for their fragrance. It's a natural scent. So those aren't usually going to be pore cloggers. It's mainly the bigger oils that are used as a filler to make up the bulk of the product. And that's where you get into your coconut oil and avocado oil and things like that. So essential oils, the only thing to note about them is that they can be somewhat irritating if you have sensitive skin. And depending on the concentration and the type, you wouldn't want to put it under the eyes. Like, for example, you would never want to put tea tree oil under your eyes. Ever, ever, ever. Like you'll get red, irritated, burning eyes if you do that. So if you have a serum that's like, oh, acne safe serum with tea tree oil, and you're putting it all over, you just need to be really aware of like where it's going. Like tea tree oil, for example, would only be good diluted as a spot treatment for an inflamed acne.
Mm-hmm. So good to know. So good to know. So talking about what I think is amazing is your products are anti-acne, anti-aging, and that is commonly not put together.
It's never put together. We're pioneers.
Okay. That's awesome. So that's what I think is super amazing, is that you're combating both. I mean, it's a desirable thing for, I think, everybody.
It is. And it's hard. I feel like that's the best thing about us. Also, I agree with you. It's also the biggest challenge because it hasn't really been done before. And people are like, wait, what? Like usually it's one or the other. It's this binary choice. And no, exfoliation is extremely important for anti-aging, and it's extremely important for acne. The right type of exfoliation, the right types of acid, the right frequency, you can get that sweet spot where it helps with both, because we're all like in our 30s. Well, Kayleigh's about to be 29, but I mean, I'm 35. I don't know how old you are, but like I treat women in their mid 30s, 40s, even 50s all the time. And we all still break out. We all want to age better too. So if you're a 45-year-old woman and you're health conscious, you're not going to go use Proactive and burn your face and like, cause accelerated aging like that. Like that's just not a desirable option. So that's why we made Clear Stem the way it is.
And so can you tell us a little bit about Clear Stem, since that is your original, or sorry, not stem cell. Wait, what is it called?
Cell Renew.
Cell Renew. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is your first
No, it's
product.
a common mistake because it used to be named it was a
standalone item originally, and it was called Clear Stem, like clear skin stem cell serum, right? And then it became the brand. So yeah, you're not alone.
We've renamed it.
Yeah.
So I know that is your original product, and like I said, you only sold it on Amazon. That's how I found it, and it had a different packaging and everything. So tell us about that product. Why is that product so special, and why you started specifically with this product?
Yeah, so I actually had a really small vision for it at first. I was maybe a year and a half into my clinic. I was getting people clear left and right, but they would still be left with acne scars. And there wasn't a suitable product on the market like that had epidermal growth factors or stem cells that could repair the skin, but that was also acne safe. So there is a famous product called, it's the TNS serum from SkinMedica, and it retails for like $270, I want to say, but I really love the active in it. So I found the chemist that makes it, and I had her use the same stuff, but I had her make it in a hyaluronic base and add Ayurvedic herbs for anti-inflammation. So like reishi, saw palmetto, green tea, willow herbs, a bunch of other things in there that are specifically anti-inflammatory and hormone regulating, because this was designed for acne prone skin. So that product was, I literally just wanted something for me to use on my clinic patients. And it became so popular, and I was literally hand pouring it into these glass bottles that I bought with a sticker that I made online. And it was a $60 product, and like college kids were just like, I don't care, I need it. Like I'll not eat tomorrow. Like, so it was a thing for sure. And it was getting people insanely good results. So another clinic patient was an Amazon guy, like he runs Amazon stores. He's like, let me blow this up for you. And I'm like, okay, why not? Puts it on Amazon, it blows up. Now we have a bunch of competitors, but whatever. And then Kayleigh was also working with me at the same time when I was perfecting the formula with the lab. So I'd get the lab samples back. I'd be like, here, try this. Tell me what you think of it. And we would just compare, and it was just so much fun. And so that was the reason it was a standalone item, but like that was the progression of how it blew up, is because it was so good. So Kayleigh had her audience. She's a, well-known, influencer in the health and wellness space, and just really knows her stuff. So she wanted to share about it too, naturally. So it started as a one thing, and then it took life. And then a year and a half ago, we decided to make it its own line. And
I love all your products, just so you know.
Thank you. You're going to love our moisturizer.
Yeah, we're so excited about it.
Our moisturizer is like the most awaited thing ever.
Wow.
We're very diligent with our formulas. Like we custom do all of them. We don't private label anything. And we have big no-no lists. Like we have our no-no list of pore cloggers, and then the no-no list of toxins. So it really, really is. And it has to be anti-aging and anti-acne. So it's really, really difficult to formulate something that well, but that's part of what I love about it. So we are formulating our moisturizer. It also has stem cells. It also has calming agents. It has a retinol alternative called bakuchiol. So it's anti-aging, and it's really good for acne prone skin. So it's coming out. We've been waiting for it for a couple of months. We had some product, honestly, we just had some product separation when we went to production. So
because
we had
we're in the clean beauty space, we don't use any synthetic
We don't use binders and stuff like that.
So there's a lot of workarounds when you're working with making something completely non-toxic and non-pore clogging. There's a whole list of things you can't use that would normally bind a product really, really well, or give it a certain feel or consistency. And so we have to create a lot of workarounds, because we still want our products to be these luxury feel products that are clinically driven, but making sure they don't have any toxins or hormone disruptors in them.
And it's natural. It happens when you're in the skin and hair care business. I know a lot of brands that had to do massive recalls because they got product separation, and there's just stuff that happens. It's par for the course. But long story short, our moisturizer is damn near perfect, and it will be ready very soon.
Sweet. Well, I want to tackle all the areas of acne causers, because one other thing, in addition to using your products and switching to some organic products, one thing I am so on board with is celery juice. And I think that is part of the reason why my acne has reduced significantly is cleaning my gut. So let's talk about gut health and how that really contributes to acne and possibly other problems that are aging us.
Yeah, gut health is so important, and a lot of people don't realize how connected it is to the skin. You have the gut, brain, and skin axis, and all three work together. So, I mean, your gut is filled with good and bad bacteria. You do need both. But a lot of times, because in the culture that we're in that is filled with more processed food and environmental toxins and higher amounts of stress and all these different things have so much effect on our gut. And it can cause an imbalance in our good and bad gut bacteria. So, there's this ebb and flow, but when good gut bacteria is too low and bad gut bacteria raises, that's where we have some gut imbalances and gut dysbiosis. And that's where we have to look at all these other areas in our life to figure out what is causing these gut issues, because that it comes out on our skin. When we have that gut dysbiosis and imbalance, that comes out as acne many times. But that's what products doesn't fix. Products will fix product cause acne. But now if there's something going on in the gut, we now have to address all these other things. And what's really cool is we go through all these different areas. I'm going to share some of them with you right now, but we go through all these areas in our course to help. We have an entire section on gut health so people can figure out what it is, because it is so many things going on. So it can easily be something you're eating. It can be heavy processed sugars in your protein powder. So you can think you're eating healthy, but it can be all these additional things that are hiding in different products food that you're eating. So you can have all these additional ingredients and fillers in salad dressings, in protein powders, and just crackers and chips and, all the regular processed foods that are causing all these gut imbalances. You can also be having high amounts of cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So if you're severely stressed out and maybe you have something huge coming up for work, and then you're also doing a ton of HIIT workouts, which are keeping your cortisol really high, and running around and drinking all this caffeine, and this is going to keep your cortisol really high, which is also going to cause gut dysbiosis as well. So you have nutrition, you have digestion that plays a part, you have stress that plays a part, and this is all contributing to gut health and then what comes out on your skin.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, like you said, it's a whole topic. I mean, honestly, I think everything you touch on is a whole topic in itself that we can't even do an hour episode. And that's why thankfully you have your course. But I know that gut health, I mean, literally your gut health comes out on your skin. I mean, I remember, and this is like maybe TMI, but once
I love TMI.
Never TMI. We love TMI
it's my favorite
so much.
thing.
Yeah. No such thing.
So I remember, this was a while ago, I struggle. I've always had gut issues, and I feel like that's why I'm so passionate with the celery juice, because it's really helped tremendously in that area for me. But I was, back in the day, like I said, on the high protein diet, low carb, and I was eating a lot of chicken or whatnot and not enough fiber to get it going out of me.
Very common.
So I think it was 5 days I couldn't go to the restroom. That's quite bad. So I got a cyst on my chin that was the size of probably a golf ball. And when you have a cyst like that, I mean, I don't know what you guys think about this, but I got the cortisone injection because it would not go down. It needed help to get down. But that was an example of how much toxicity was in my gut. So I know how important it is and how it will show up. But, again, that's a big, big topic. But I want people to be aware of these root causes. And for the other one, hormonal. So and then this is another topic too, melasma, but I got melasma from birth control ages ago, and I've had it. Melasma doesn't go away. You could only suppress it and maintain it. It never fully goes away. So that's one of my other battles. But when it comes to birth control and our hormones going up and down, maybe too high estrogen, all that thing, can you touch on the hormonal factor of, the causes? Of course.
Yeah, I want to touch on birth control, and then I want Danielle to tackle the rest of the hormonal area, because I'm super, super passionate about the effects of birth control. And I don't want to stand here and say I'm against birth control in any way, because I'm not. I think there is a time and a place and a purpose for it. I do not like that it is prescribed for different reasons than intended. So I do not like that birth control is prescribed for acne. I think it's wrong, because what birth control actually does is it cuts off communication. The way it works is it cuts off communication between your ovaries and your brain. It is cutting off communication between an organ and your brain. Like, what? You can't do that with any other organ. Like, imagine cutting off communication between your liver and your brain, your heart and your brain. Like, you can't do it. And so not only does it do that, but what's going on inside your body is it depletes a ton of different vitamins. It depletes vitamin D, B vitamins, selenium, this whole long list. And so while you're on birth control, I was on birth control for 8 years before I got off. And I know there's a lot of people who've been on it even longer than that at this point. So during those 8 years, all of those vitamins were being suppressed in my body. You also, depending on what kind of birth control you're on, your testosterone can be suppressed as well. So when you get off birth control, which many women go through this, something called, post birth control syndrome. And it's basically, in simplest terms, it is your body going haywire after it has been held back and suppressed for those X number of years. So now your body is like, okay, I've been suppressing all these vitamins. What the heck is going on? Okay, now I've been suppressed in testosterone. So it goes through testosterone rebound effect. It's like, woo, I don't know what to do without testosterone. Where does it go? How does it fit in with progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, insulin? And it's like, everything is just going so crazy in your body. And so many women can have hair loss, hair growth in weird areas. They can, all of these food allergies and digestive issues and gut issues can arise because it also depletes good gut bacteria, and also depletes stomach acid as well. So it really hinders the digestion process. And so many women deal with severe acne after getting off birth control because of these rebound effects. And then they're so fearful. They're like, I need to go back on birth control because that's the only way, because my skin was so under control on birth control. So now I need to go back because I tried, this is what women say. They're like, I tried everything after birth control. I tried changing my diet, changing all these different products, and I don't know what else to do. So I have to go back on birth control. And that's why we built this course, is because we don't want women to live in fear of this. And it's like, no, we got you. Like, here's all these things. We have an entire hormone sections. Like, here's all these things that were going on. Now, here's how you can support your body getting off birth control or after birth control to help re-regulate and balance everything.
Ooh, I love that. And I'm going to touch on this a little bit too, because I took something called spirulactone. I'm sure you know of it.
Yeah.
A lot of doctors would subscribe this, which was originally for high blood pressure, that they noticed how it was helping the acne. And I've taken it on and on. Well, I've taken it in 2 separate periods, and I was on it for like 2 years. And I remember the first time I tried to get off of it because I didn't want to be on a medication. Like, nobody wants to be on a medication. So to get off of it, you have to slowly step your way down off of it. The first time I went a little quicker than I should have, and I broke out immensely because my body needs to readjust. It's going through this phase to readjust to what it's just been, suppressed of, if you want to say. And the second time I did or got off, it was not that long ago, actually. And I took a lot slower of a time, and I didn't have that rebound, luckily. But I think exactly as you're touching on the birth control, like, your body has to get readjusted to be normal again,
Yeah,
so,
after however many years, sometimes it's upwards of like 10, 15, 20 years that people have been on it.
That's so crazy. Oh my goodness. And then what was the other thing I asked? The melasma, which is a whole nother subject. I know we're sticking with acne, but I know melasma is another thing, of course, that has to do with the hormones.
I actually have melasma pretty intensely because when I was going through my acne struggles, I burned my face off so aggressively for so long. I did Accutane 3 times, and it still came back because I didn't have the right information. And so I've done the advanced, I've done lasers, I've done alpha levulan light therapy, I did a million peels, it was on spironolactone twice, did all of those things and more. And I was using really hot water and was being really aggressive with my exfoliants and not wearing sunscreen because I thought it would break me out. So naturally, I have a ton of melasma. I actually made the Clarity serum that we have, the one that dissolves blackheads and unclogs pores. I actually I infused that with a few ingredients that fight melasma too. Cause that's what I struggle with and I wanted something for it. So yeah, it's really hard to get rid of, but yeah, melasma can, so something that makes melasma worse that people aren't aware of is using hot water on their face. So melasma is triggered by UV light. It's actually your skin protecting itself. Basically you tan and get darker. It's your skin's natural defense against UV radiation, so sunlight. So that's why you get dark when you go outside. Yeah. So sunlight is going to do it. That's why you want to make sure you're wearing a zinc or titanium sunscreen. And if you have forehead melasma, you really want to wear a hat when you're outside. It's really helpful. But just topical heat can make it worse. So yeah, it's a lot of people are like, they do something to make it better and then they go back to using like high heat or not enough sunscreen on it, and then it keeps coming back. But yeah, birth control and messing with the gut and the estrogen levels can definitely increase melasma. And some people just get it after a while if they're using like if their hormones are just disrupted for various other reasons. They'll want to take something called indole-3 carbinol, which is basically it's like a derivative from broccoli and Brussels sprouts, but it's a chemical that helps your body flush out extra estrogen. So that there's a couple of things that you can do for melasma, but yeah, it's real tricky.
Yeah, like I said, it could be another topic. And I learned so much about it because I've battled with melasma, I think, since, I don't even know, it's been like probably 15 years. So I've learned a lot about that stuff. But I know a lot of people don't know that hot saunas and steam rooms, that also triggers the melasma to worsen as well. And doing hot yoga, at least that's what I've read. So it's the heat that aggravates it.
Topical, like touching the skin, I think that's the thing that does it more. I do hot yoga a lot and I don't feel like it affects mine, but I mean, if theirs is really, really intense and really sensitive or has been sensitized by, say, using hot water on their face or not wearing sunscreen enough, then yeah, everything else is just going to piss it off even more. So yeah, I'm actually a big fan of hot yoga because of the lymphatic detox that people get with it. And I feel like that's a huge benefit for acne.
That's good to know, because I was really into hot yoga, and when I read that aggravated the melasma, I'm like, okay, I guess no more hot yoga, and I stopped. So that's good to know that maybe to take a look at if it's getting worse if you're doing it during that time. And yeah, because lymphatic drainage is obviously beneficial. For sure.
I think that the lymphatic drainage aspect is beneficial at a 10, whereas it might bother your melasma at like a 3. So I think the benefits to know generally outweigh.
That's awesome. Well, if you were to recommend, when it comes to the foods, and I recently did a food intolerance and allergy test, and of course I found out one of the healthy things was
egg
coconut.
Whites?
Oh, egg whites would be really hard.
Everyone's allergic to egg whites.
Yeah, sorry, not saying they're healthy, saying they're triggering acne. Yeah. The egg whites.
But I didn't get that, but that's good to know. Mm-hmm. It's so hard when you see these things, but coconut was one of them. And
interesting.
Coconut's in every healthy thing these days. So I think, I don't know what you feel about food intolerance tests, but I felt it was very beneficial to do that because you could be having that thing every day. And if that's on the high thing, it would cause breakouts. So
yeah, it's so bio-individual with that, because we have a list of different foods and even healthy foods that can trigger acne for a lot of people who are acneic, but then you get into more of the specifics, and there are some different oddball foods that trigger people's acne because of maybe a gut dysbiosis or something going on digestively, or just isn't sitting well with your body. So for coconut, for a lot of people, it's overload. So, you're switching to a cleaner diet and you're removing gluten and you're removing dairy. And so it's replaced with coconut flour and coconut milk and coconut cream and coconut oil. And so you're having this overload of coconut in your body that is causing your body to adversely react to it. So sometimes with some of those specific things, sometimes it is an allergy and like it just will not sit with you. body just doesn't like it. Other times you just need to remove it for about 30 days and then you can periodically have it and most likely be fine. That happens to me with quite a few it happens to me with almonds all the time because I'll get like, so I'll just be all the almond things. I'll have the almond milk, almond butter. I'm like making some of the almond flour.
That's too much omega-6.
Yeah, and it'll really start wrecking with my skin and my digestive system. I'm like, all right, Kayleigh, take a break. No more almond stuff for a while and I'll switch it up. Like maybe I'll have oat milk or cashew milk and almond butter. And if I'll do coconut flour. Like I just try to spread out the alternatives rather than going all coconut based or all almond based.
Yeah. And another thing about the coconut stuff is it is in all of the like non-dairy cheeses and like a lot of the healthier items, you know, because if you have acne, you generally want to avoid dairy, but then all the non-dairy options have a lot of coconut oil. So, I've noticed with coconut oil, I like cooking with it, but when people are putting like the MCT oil in their coffee or they're putting like scoops of coconut oil in their smoothie every morning, it's a quantity of omega-6 that I find to be just a little too much. Like it's all like the devil's in the dosage with everything. So having too much coconut oil, yeah, it's got great omegas too. It has a lot of omega-9, which is part of the way it's the brain fuel, you know, but you can get omega-9 from macadamia nuts and it doesn't have any omega-6 really. So there's just like, I would prefer, I always tell everyone, like, instead of like almonds, which are really high in omega-6, instead of using a bunch of coconut oil, just do macadamia. Macadamia is like the most unsung hero ever.
Really? It's never talked about.
Well, because it got a bad rap because it has the most calories, but that was from when people were like obsessed with like fat. Right. Now it's like, okay, no, it's sugar that is the problem and it's the different types of fat that matter. So high omega-9 and omega-3 are fantastic. It's the amount of omega-6 that you generally want to limit or don't add extra of because you're already going to get plenty of it in your diet.
That's so good to know because let's talk about supplements because I know that was one of the things that you brought in. So what should we kind of steer away adding an extra supplement in and what should we possibly include in our diet?
Great question. I love this topic. I love biohacking.
I can tell you're passionate. Both of you are so passionate about it.
We love it. Well, and we both are so acneic and that like acne is like, it's been a really big part of our lives. Yeah. It's still a big part of our lives. Like Kayleigh was eating too much chicken a while ago and it was too much protein for her. And she started breaking out, cut it out, boom, fine. Like
my skin cleared up in like literally 2 days because I was eating so much rotisserie chicken because it was like easy to buy and break apart for salads. Yeah. And I started breaking out like crazy and it was just too much overload.
Yeah, but now our skin's perfect and she cut it out. So the roller coaster is still very much a thing. Yeah, is my point, right? So it's not like, oh, I used to battle acne and now I don't anymore. Like, no. I'll be dealing with this for the rest of my life probably. But that said, it really makes you excited to find solutions and there's a ton of them out there. So to answer your question, there's a couple supplements that make acne worse. And it's not the actual vitamin itself, it's the supplement form and the dosage. For example, zinc. Everyone's taking zinc right now because everyone's worried about COVID and getting sick. So a lot of people are taking zinc supplements. Well, zinc is fantastic. It is important to not be deficient in it. And again, birth control is one of those things that can make you deficient in it. So everyone's like, oh, I should get more of this. It's going to help my skin. But when you start taking it in a supplement form, it generally has like 2 to 3 times what you should be getting. And it'll be in a single dosage. So like a surplus of something like zinc or having too much of it is actually going to raise your testosterone. It spikes it. That's why oysters are touted as an aphrodisiac because they're a really naturally high source of zinc. Like that's what that is. So zinc supplements, people start taking them during cold season every year. And like clockwork, come wintertime, cold season, everyone comes into the clinic with acne like around where they'd have a mustache.
Wow.
Okay. And it's almost always from a zinc supplement. And I'm seeing it a lot right now because of COVID. So a nice alternative is to do a zinc lozenge because it's going to actually dissolve right where the virus would be bedding, in your throat. And it'll be way more localized for what you're trying to get it to do rather than just putting it through your whole body, hoping it's effective. So that's just a little tip I wanted to share with people in light of current circumstances. Another supplement that women especially take way too much of is vitamin D. So vitamin D, most people are legitimately deficient because we don't get enough sunshine and we work indoors most of the time. So most people are legitimately deficient, but then they'll go and start taking a supplement that has like 6 times what they're supposed to be getting in a day. And they'll take it with no end date. So taking it every single day for years on end because they were once they once learned they were deficient. So they think it's something they supplement with forever. The thing with vitamin D is that it's fat soluble. So it stores up in your body. So you get a surplus and then it exponentially compounds on itself because it is fat soluble. And if you're taking 6 times or even triple what you're supposed to get in a day, it's going to lead to a surplus. And again, vitamin D in surplus can lead to extra testosterone. In fact, that's one of the things that men do as they get older and they have low T is they start doing vitamin D therapy because it really does raise testosterone. And testosterone is the main hormone that contributes to hormonal acne. So it's all about dosage. So if you look at your multivitamin and it has, say, 250% of your daily intake, that's 2.5 times what you should be getting. You might only want to take that like on a Monday and a Thursday, and then make sure to get your sunshine in between. You know what I mean? So you can dose down if you have a good vitamin that you like, but it has way too much vitamin D, just for example, just dose down so you're not getting an insane amount every single day. And just focus on getting it from natural sources. So that's a big part of what I talk about in the clinic is how to properly supplement.
Awesome. You two are so knowledgeable in this area. I love it. And that's why I'm so excited about the course. So I would love if you could share the course that you just launched, Ditch the Acne. Am I correct?
Ditch your acne.
Ditch your acne. I would love
plain and simple. Ditch it. Get it gone.
Yeah. And I know so many people battle with it, and it doesn't matter your age. And I think obviously, I mean, it's not even just women, right? It's men as well. And I think a lot of people feel like the solution is in the product and they go for the things that are, you know, no more acne or benzoyl peroxide. Like people go with what they know. And I know benzoyl peroxide being one of them. So I want to know about your course, since I think it's such an amazing thing that I think so many people, I know if I was struggling as much as I was when I was younger and I saw your acne course, I would have bought it hands down, because it was such as you said, it affects your confidence. So we want to get to the root cause of it. So tell me about your course a little bit. And like I said, in this episode, we're not able to share as much as you provide in this course. So what is so
it would be a solid 7-hour podcast if we were to share as much in the course.
Exactly. So tell us about it.
Yeah. So with our course, we wanted to start from the beginning and then make sure we were tackling every part of someone's life that could be triggering acne so they can truly get to the root cause. So we started off by actually sharing our acne journeys, because all 3 of us, it's myself, Danielle, and Christina Rice that built this out. And we want to educate on everything we've tried, from the Accutane to the lasers to tried literally every product from clean beauty to the most expensive. So we dive deep and we share everything we've gone through and all of our experiences. We then tackle, what is acne? Like, what is it actually at the root cause? What is going on the skin and biologically, what is causing acne? And discussing the root causes of it and how it can, you know, be touted as hormonal or this or that. And so we really dive deep to the science behind acne. We then dive into why it's important to get to the root cause and take a holistic approach. So what happens when you go to a primary care doctor and you're like, I have acne, I need something that solves it, what they're trained to do. What happens when you go to a dermatologist for this reason? And so we go through these different avenues to educate people. Like a primary care doctor or dermatologist is never going to sit down with you for 1 hour to 2 hours to go through all areas of life. And that is not their fault. That is how they are trained. And that's
our medical system.
Yeah, that's our medical system.
Right.
You come in and they prescribe things for symptoms. And that's just the way it works. So we want people to understand, if you go into a doctor, you're just going to get something for a symptom. That is what you are leaving with. And so understanding, if you want to truly get rid of acne for good and have it under control, why it's important to get to the root cause.
Yeah. And on that note, I mean, a lot of people, almost everyone that I see at the clinic actually has already done birth control. They've already done spironolactone. They've already done Accutane. They've already done antibiotics, and it either doesn't work or stops working, or they just know that the minute they go off of it, stuff's going to get really bad for them. And that's not an okay way to live. in my opinion. Especially nowadays, people are aware of what those things are doing to their bodies, and they really don't, that's not a solution for most people anymore. So our whole course is about a holistic approach, meaning every part of your life that affects your skin. And it really does resonate hard with people. Like as soon, like we get testimonies, like they're 10 minutes into it and light bulbs are going off. And they're like, I knew this was messing with me. Or like they change one thing, like they do an elimination diet with eggs because eggs are very hard to digest and they cause lymphatic acne. They're like, oh my God, I went keto and I was having eggs every morning. I stopped it for 2 weeks and my skin's a night and day difference. Like they will have been struggling for so long, and they've like the key takeaways that come from all of the knowledge in this course are create instant change for people very, very quickly. And like, we're obsessed with that.
Yeah. So then we take people through 5 different modules in the middle of the course. So we take them through all the different areas of their life that could be triggering acne. So we take them through an entire section on products, on what's triggering it, and then also your ideal skin routine for your skin's bio-individuality and skin type and climate you live in, all of those things. So we take them through products, we take them through nutrition and digestion, we take them through gut health, take them through hormones, supplements, vitamins, and nutrients, and then scar damage, how to heal scar damage, inflammation, and alternative therapy. And with each of these modules, so it's all audio, very podcast style. It's me, Christina, and Danielle all sitting around having this discussion and education around all of these things and sharing our experiences in between. And then there's takeaways with every single module. So there's takeaways, there's guides, there's tips, there's protocols, and then there's action steps. And then we tie everything all together, and we have a full recap to create your step-by-step routine to get to the root cause of acne. And so you can go through all these different things. You can learn how to do an elimination diet. We dive really deep when it comes to nutrition, and especially when it comes to hormones. We discuss PCOS as well. So we discuss some more circumstantial things that are going on with people battling like Lyme disease and leaky gut and all these different things. And then we have a ton of additional resources that we have along with it as well. So again, more guides and protocols. So we have a liver detox protocol because liver health is so important for the skin. And so we teach you how to properly go through it. We teach you why juice cleanses are not a way to, quote, detoxify your body, and how to actually detoxify your body in a way that you're supporting your body and not binging in any different way. But yeah, that's pretty much our course in a nutshell.
We talk a lot. What I love this course so much because of how much we go into digestion. We did a webinar a couple weeks ago about it was a few acne topics, but digestion and gut health was one of the topics. And it was very clear that people don't quite understand the difference between gut health and digestion. It's very, very different. So gut health is, in your intestine, and it's all about the bacteria ratio, permeability, all that. Digestion's in your stomach. And it has to do with the enzymes and the, whether your gallbladder is functioning and like your digestive juices and their potency. And a lot of people struggle with digestion and they don't know it. And that is actually extremely common. And that's why the celery juice is helpful for people, because it stimulates your digestive enzymes. And it's obviously got a whole host of other benefits too. But yeah, we talk a lot about digestion, and there's simple things that you can do to help it. And that helps everything else in the body. So it's one of the biggest modules in the course is on digestion, and then how it relates to gut health. And I feel like that it'll for sure help with acne, but it helps with your entire longevity and your life as a whole. Because if you have silent inflammation or undiagnosed inflammation because of a digestive issue, even if you're, for example, say you're just not breaking down a 30-year protein, which is extremely common, by the way. Say you're just not breaking that amount down. It literally clogs up your whole lymphatic pathway. It blocks your body from getting out other toxins that would have otherwise been able to handle. And it just creates inflammation that you will never be able to pinpoint because Western medicine doesn't test for it.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about some of the stuff that we include in this course are things that the average person would never know to look for, and that can really, really benefit their life.
Wow. I love it. And I commend you guys for starting this. I mean, honestly, I think it's so valuable. And I know you're doing a special right now, but what is the price of your course? I don't know if there's tiers.
It's $549.
Awesome.
And we have payment plan options for people as well.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Because we understand that, people want to get started and they want to get started now. If they don't want to get started in a week from now, if they don't want to get started in 2 weeks
and
from
it
now.
comes with a credit for skincare products as well. So, I mean, we give
a heavy discount on Clear Stem products, and there's a lot of bonuses that come along with it.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. And where can people find that? What's the best place?
They can head to our website, clearstemskincare.com, and head to the Ditch Your Acne course. It's also in the link in our bios on Instagram. You can also use, for a shortened link of it, it's the bit.ly/Ditch Your Acne.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like I said, I would jump right on it. So anybody that's struggling right now, I'm sure you will have a calling to get this course, because to have those solutions under one umbrella is just priceless. I mean, especially if you're really struggling. So
Absolutely.
I could totally relate. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
the information that we cover in the course, it would be like having several meetings with a nutritionist. It would be like several appointments with me, and it would be the almost the same information as going to like a naturopath. Like, obviously we're not running blood work. It's not nearly as thorough, but it's literally like going and having like multiple in-depth meetings with various different specialists, combining all their knowledge into one space, and that doesn't happen.
Wow. I think it's remarkable. Kudos for you guys for creating it. And I know this is the first time ever an acne course has been made. So that's just awesome. Well, let me just to summarize this episode. I always ask my guests the same question. So I would love to hear from you too. I know I always ask, like, if you were to write a book, what would be a piece of advice you would add on the first page that you would want to give to everybody? And I know you've written a book. I don't know if Danielle, you've written a book. I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure you have it under your belt to do that soon. What's that?
I get fired up and I write blogs.
She gets super fired up and writes blogs. Yeah.
But what would be
like all of our blogs to be combined into a book?
I'll have to think about that. Kay, do you have?
Mine would be, you can take control of your health. I think so many times we put our health in other people's hands and rely on other people, and forget that, if we just provide ourselves with the education and the tools, we can truly do so much for our own health ourselves. It takes more time and effort. It really, really does. But in the end, you're going to be so much better off, because then when things go haywire, you're more in tune with your body, and you know different steps to take to heal and to fix things.
I absolutely love that. And I completely agree. And I think it's empowering, to be honest, to know that there's so much knowledge out there. Obviously, you two are providing a lot of knowledge that some people don't even think to even look at. Like, I didn't really know, and I know a lot about health and nutrition, but I didn't really know about the whole egg thing. I just assume if it's not on my intolerance list that I'm okay, but maybe it's something I should kind of monitor and see if that's causing breakout. So
you'll be able to tell. So it's the egg whites. Their protein is called albumin, and it's very hard to digest. So any protein that's not being digested properly for whatever reason gets clogged up in your lymphatic system. So you'll be able to tell. I'm pointing to my neck. You obviously, listeners can't see that. Pointing to right under my neck and by my ears. Usually that's where eggs will get you. So some people will be like, I had an almond. I literally woke up with something under my neck. It's right where your lymph nodes are. Like it'll happen it'll happen the next day. So you'll be able to, you can tell. So if that's a trouble area for you, and you notice it after having eggs, then there's a correlation for sure. There's a lot of little things like that we use, items we suggest that people evaluate, and then the way to check to see if it is actually bothering them. Because there's a million things that might bother your neighbor, but that might not bother you. So we really like to be like, okay, if this is your issue, here's how you can tell, and you'll be able to tell the next day.
So much info. Take notes, everybody. This is incredible. Oh my gosh. I am so thankful for you ladies. Like I said, we could go into so much more, but I want people to grab your course. It is dynamite what you're providing, and I'm just so grateful to have this time and your knowledge that you've shared. And I'm gonna, once we could exit our homes, I need to take a trip down to San Diego and get a facial. No, I'm serious. I mean, I was going to go into this, but I have a laser. The only laser person I will go to is in San Diego, and that's he does the Fraxel Dual for my melasma. I've only done it twice, but it's been a while. But he's down there, and he's the only person I trust for that. So if there's somebody like Danielle, the only person I trust, I would totally make the trip. If
I'm curious. You got to tell me his name now. Who's the doctor?
Dr. Groff. I don't know if you heard it. He's in La Jolla.
I have. Yeah. I'm in La Jolla too. I've heard of him. Yep.
That's awesome. So yeah, anyways, this has been such a lovely conversation, much needed. And I can't wait to serve everybody with this. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Kisses back. Bye.